Liam Smith absolutely destroys Chris Eubank Jr., knocking him out slash TKO in the fourth round. It's the first time in Eubank's career that he's been stopped. It was the first time he'd ever been dropped as well. An incredible turn of events. I don't think before the fight, I obviously predicted Eubank to win. I thought he'd win a decision pretty comfortably to some extent, and he was doing all right. I gave him up until that point. I had it 2 rounds to 1 to Eubank. I thought it was a very, very close fight up to that point. I felt Smith was doing all right, but it wasn't anything to I don't know. It wasn't really going either way, but I felt like Eubank in the second round and in the third round, especially when he started letting the uppercut go, he started picking up the pace. It really, really started to have an effect on Smith, and I thought at that point it was getting a bit dicey for Smith. But I don't really know what even happened that triggered this, but just out of nowhere, he swarms Eubank, has him in the corner, unloading combinations, and then eventually drops Eubank. And Eubank was staggering all over the place. He was completely out on his feet. And, it was one of those. Eubank has never been down, so I don't know if this is just his inexperience in the ring. Maybe it's his ego because he was talking a lot before the fight. But what he did to me just. Even though Eubank's been fine a long time, it just sort of showed his experience to an extent, because he didn't slowly make his way to defeat. He didn't take the 8 count. He went in there and immediately got back up. And as you know, sometimes in boxing, your head may not be fully there. It might not be clear. Your legs may not be there. So it's always smart to wait, take the 8 count. I consider Anthony Joshua to be someone who's quite inexperienced in terms of what he does, but you saw where he got dropped by Ruiz. He took the 8 count. Everybody takes the 8 count. It's just the smart thing to do, but for some reason for Eubank, he decided to get up right away, and then Smith jumped on him immediately. Did not let him rest. Didn't let him do anything, and really just punished him. And Eubank was completely out on his feet. You could see he was trying to. It's one of those where your mind is willing, but your body just ain't there, and he really couldn't get his wits about him. He tried to recover, but just couldn't. Smith blasted him with a beautiful uppercut, and his right eye, I think, is from Eubank, looked badly swollen at the end of the fight. But yeah, crazy result. I did think Eubank would win. I felt like if his fight went on 12, I think he was. I won't say he's on his way because it was quite early in the fight, but I felt like he was doing okay. But like I said, just out of nowhere, and I think again that is where the weight cut that he took from the Conor Benn fight coming into this fight, that's where it affects you, because you are draining your body a lot. And he's not a young man. He's 33 years old. 33. Like his old man said, Eubank Senior, you can't do at 33 what you're doing at 23. It's completely different. He's not a young man. Your body goes through a lot, and the fact that he did that and then made it for this fight. I remember in UFC when Tony Ferguson was supposed to fight Khabib, and he obviously COVID stopped the fight from happening, and Khabib was obviously in Russia, but Tony Ferguson still made the weight. He then made the weight again not long after, fought Justin Gaethje, and Gaethje beat the brakes off him, and I think that was a big reason for it. And I think with the way that Eubank did it with the Conor Benn fight, he had to go down in weight. It was even worse for him because he wasn't even making his natural weight. He had to drain himself, and then he had to then come back up to 160. It takes a lot out of your body. It didn't take long enough, I don't think, to really give himself that time to recover. And again, at his age, I don't think he should have done that. And I'll be honest with you, with the Conor Benn fight, if Conor Benn ever comes back, Conor Benn. So I gave my reaction to when that fight got made, but before with what the drug testing with Conor Benn, I felt that Conor Benn actually was going to beat Eubank because of how drained Eubank would have been at that weight. What you just saw Liam Smith do, Conor Benn would have done a whole lot worse, because Conor Benn is going up. He's naturally a hard hitter anyway. You stick him against Eubank, who isn't exactly a slick guy who you can't touch. It's a problem, and I've never seen anybody do that to Eubank. And I think that's the weight. think he's getting on a little bit. I think Roy Jones' style didn't really help him in this fight. And yeah, excellent performance on Liam Smith though. Looked good in there. A few times he was taking too many shots, but he wasn't really getting out of the way. His uppercut for Eubank was landing quite consistently, but Smith was able to sort of negate that. And I felt now you're seeing in this for Liam Smith, I think he's in a good position. I think Calbrook will come back. I think he'll fight him. It's a close fight. I remember those two sparred. I think when it was I think when Brook was preparing for the Golovkin fight, so they know each other. That would be a real nice fight. I don't know why Brook's coming back, to be honest. Maybe he just misses it. I don't know, but fair enough. If he wants to come back, I think it's a great fight to come back to. And yeah, for Eubank, I'm not sure where he goes really. I think there's a rematch clause, but I don't want to see a rematch. I don't think this fight needs to happen again. And when a fight is as decisive as that, like I said, 4th round, he got him out of there. It wasn't even like a late stoppage in the 10th, 11th round. It was 4th. That is very early in a fight of this magnitude. So that shows you that I don't think we need to see this again. Well, as a one-sided fight, I don't really think for Eubank's sake he should fight Smith again. I think it would be the same. I think the chin maybe now is starting to, wear a lot of that damage, and starting to sort of be not as tough as it was. He used to have a very good chin, Eubank, but now he's been stopped. And the fact that he was staggering the way he was, Smith is not a traditionally hard puncher, but he had Eubank staggering all over the place. It was a long night for him, and yeah, I think that for Eubank, take time and maybe go up in weight, because I don't know if you want to really be hanging around these weights now that your body's done all that. I think just go to a higher weight. He did alright at super middleweight. He obviously lost to Groves, but he did alright regardless. And I think if you thought George Groves wasn't able to do it, so George Groves is a very big fight. He's virtually a light heavyweight at times, George Groves. But it shows you where if you go up in weight, you go down in weight at the age that you are, it's going to take effect. And you saw what happened in that fight. But yeah, crazy fight, incredible result, incredible performance from Liam Smith, incredible finish for Eubank. I'm sure he'll come again, but I just think he needs to reassess stuff now. But yeah, just my thought on Eubank versus Smith. And yeah, until next time.